told your friend you're not okay.
Top K-pop breaking story. The Mexican skies are shaking. BTS just landed, and the world is unprepared for what happens next. The clear skies over Mexico City suddenly transformed into a global stage as the luxurious Boeing 777 carrying the members of BTS glided through the air and gently landed at AICM Benito Juarez International Airport. Those moments, which were supposed to be just another arrival, suddenly transformed into a massive wave of emotion that instantly swept across the globe. Fans waiting from afar felt their hearts flutter just knowing that Jungkook, Taehyung, Jimin, Jin, Suga, RM, and J-Hope had finally set foot back on American soil after an epic series of concerts that rocked major cities around the world. From the spectacular brilliance of the Tokyo Dome, to the grandeur of a concert in Tampa, to a historic night at Gwanghwamun Square, to the unparalleled roar in El Paso, BTS's journey so far has been more than just a musical tour. It's been a series of global events that have emphasized the breadth and breadth of their influence. And now, after years of waiting, it was finally Mexico City's turn to stand at the forefront of this monumental story. As soon as their plane touched down, social media exploded. Within seconds, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram timelines were filled with videos of the newly landed plane, flight screenshots, wild theories, ARMY's reactions, and the hashtag warm welcome that immediately skyrocketed to the top of global trends, filled with thousands of purple heart emojis symbolizing the unwavering love between BTS and their fans worldwide. Even without seeing the members' faces in person, ARMYs were moved to tears just by the sound of the plane pulling up to the end of the runway. To ensure their comfort and safety, the members were immediately escorted to a special car after disembarking from the private plane. Reliable sources say that the luxury hotel chosen for them had been prepared days in advance by local authorities. Mexico City knew they were welcoming no ordinary artists, but global icons capable of moving hundreds of thousands of people with just a single photo. Their arrival ignited a fire of enthusiasm that was contagious like a hurricane. Within hours, the entire city was transformed. Main streets were adorned with purple banners, shops blasted BTS songs non-stop, and throngs of fans filled every corner of the city, dancing, singing, and embracing the long-awaited feeling of happiness. On the Paseo de la Reforma, dozens of dancers gathered to perform choreographed BTS songs as a welcome. The pounding music, applause, and cheers echoed as if the city itself were dancing along. The BTS phenomenon in Mexico wasn't just a passing fad. It was a social event that united generations. Parents, teenagers, children, even office workers, all were immersed in the same joy. In various corners of the city, K-pop dance classes were packed. Students practiced the choreography enthusiastically, memorizing every move and helping each other refine the small details that made their performances even better. Their teachers patiently guided them, smiling proudly at how music, transcending languages, could unite so many hearts at once. More than that, the love for BTS has led many fans to learn Korean, attend cultural classes, and even establish themed communities that further strengthen their friendships. A father named Lucio Campos even decided to learn Korean to support his daughter, a die-hard ARMY. He believes BTS embodies honest and sincere positive values, something he says is rare in other popular music. His daughter, Anna, proudly displays her BTS album, saying that the group taught her to love herself, a simple yet powerful message for young listeners. This phenomenon is not only being addressed by the public, but also by the government. President Claudia Sheinbaum is reportedly trying to add more concert dates due to the overwhelming demand. While no official dates have been announced yet, this move demonstrates BTS's significant impact on the local economy and culture. On the secondary market, ticket prices have skyrocketed to unprecedented levels, reflecting the public's eagerness to witness the three-day concert scheduled for May 7th, 9, and 10, 2026 at the Estadio GMP Seguros. For BTS, Mexico City is more than just another city on their packed tour. It's the place where the fans' voices are always heard loudest, where the love is so intense that it fills entire stadiums before the concert begins. On social media, thousands of theories emerged. Some believed BTS might be holding a secret rehearsal in the stadium before the concert. There were also rumors that some members were preparing special solo performances never before performed in other cities. Some fans who worked near the hotel shared unofficial accounts of seeing large vehicles bearing concert equipment logos entering and exiting the underground parking lot late into the night. Behind closed doors, the atmosphere seemed much quieter and more focused. After arriving at their rooms, the BTS members finally felt the warmth they had been missing during the long journey. They sat in the hotel lounge, enjoying local food specially prepared by the chef, and talked with each other about their experiences in previous cities. Although they appeared relaxed, they knew that Mexico City was more than just another stop. This was the city that had always given them the warmest welcome, and they wanted to repay it with something they would remember for the rest of their lives. Outside the hotel, the armies filling the streets began singing along to BTS songs. Their voices echoed in the cool night air, creating an atmosphere so warm that some locals stood and watched, amazed by the fans' fervent love for the Korean group. The glow of purple light sticks illuminated the sidewalks as if the city had turned into a mini concert, prompting many tourists and pedestrians to stop and capture the moment. The next morning, news of the crowd of armies in front of the hotel immediately became a trending topic. Local media headlined the story as if reporting a historic moment, not just a musical phenomenon. Even some reporters who hadn't previously followed the K-pop scene began talking about the BTS effect that was truly felt in Mexico City. Restaurants, cafes, and shops around the hotel began displaying BTS-themed menus, with purple drinks, large posters, and special food packages inspired by the members. The local economy boomed in just 24 hours after BTS's arrival, demonstrating the impact their presence had on the city. Meanwhile, at the GMP Seguros Stadium, the technical team had been working since dawn. The stage lights were tested one by one, and the giant speakers were turned on with the first thump of bass that shook the empty seats. An ultra-large LED screen displayed rehearsal visuals for tomorrow's concert, purple waves, shimmering lights, and silhouettes of the members appearing and disappearing as if dancing with the light. The staff tried to keep everything under wraps, but a few brave enough fans climbed the stadium's outer fence and managed to catch a glimpse of music that sounded like a brand new, never-before-used VCR. As the afternoon approached, rumors grew that BTS would be holding a private soundcheck that night. Fans flocked to the stadium, hoping to catch even a glimpse of the rehearsal. But what happened was even more surprising. From a distance, a heavily guarded convoy of black vehicles could be seen moving toward the back entrance of the stadium. Within seconds, the entire area erupted in hysterics. Fans ran toward the fence, waving their arms and chanting the members' names. Even though the car windows were tightly closed, ARMY remained convinced BTS was inside, and that alone was enough to move them to tears. Inside the stadium, the members finally stood on stage for the first time in Mexico City that year. They stared at the empty seats that would be filled tomorrow with over 150,000 people. Although the room was silent, they could imagine the sound of ARMY screams, the roar of chants, and the sea of purple lights that would fill the air. The members paused for a moment, soaking in a feeling that was hard to describe, a mix of nostalgia, gratitude, and disbelief that ARMY's love was still so strong despite the passage of time. Taeyong smiled slightly as he looked up at the stands. Jimin patted Jungkook's shoulder and said something that made the youngest nod slowly, as if silently promising to give the best performance. RM stood in the center, took a deep breath, and then told the staff that this concert had to be one of the most memorable in the tour's history. They wanted to ensure that every second of the 3 big nights in Mexico City would be a reward for the fans who had waited patiently for so many years. And outside the stadium, ARMY still waited, unaware that their idols were standing right behind those massive walls, preparing for a memory that would change many people's lives. See you in the next video.